This is TWiT.
Another, of course, rumor that is strong, although rumors are meaningless, is that there will be a Siri, standalone Siri device, a Siri speaker.
Yeah.
Will we see, you think, Monday? With a touch display, maybe?
If they need, like, so it's a developer conference, which some people will say suggests there won't be a lot of interesting hardware. Although a couple of points, Apple has not gone out of their way to say no new hardware this year, which they usually do if there is no new hardware. And also, if there are things like a Siri speaker, they'll need to have developer support for it. The current version of SiriKit is very limited. I think it has 7 or 8 domains, and they'll need way more than that to have a full living room experience. So if it is something, they've not hesitated to show off things like the then new 2013 Mac Pro and say coming later this year. So it's quite possible they'll say we're shipping this in September, but we know we have all the developers here. We have the new version of SiriKit and HomeKit for you to work on, and we want to give you as much time as possible to make fantastic apps and experiences. So here it is, and either it's a standalone speaker or it's some form of fancy iPhone 8 dock that'll use the logic from the phone to create a living room, whatever form it takes. They'll show it off, hint at it, and then give the developers time to get their apps ready for it.
They don't even necessarily have to show it off. They could just simply, even in the conference, the actual conference itself, they could have in one of the boxes that is not revealed on the schedule yet. It's like new features of new API developer exposed features of Siri, and at that session you will learn that, oh, by the way, here's how you can create Siri actions for, let's say, if there were a standalone device, or let's say you don't know, or better yet, you don't know what. You don't know what device this is running on, so it could be because people could be using Siri on a Mac, on a phone, on a watch, on a or even on a. We're just saying that maybe you want to start thinking about how to do that. We obviously we're going to be really paying close attention to the keynote, but you've got to spend the next week watching all of these conference videos that come up, because oftentimes that's where some of the most exciting stuff is. This is where a company is going to talk about subtle stuff that's going to totally revolutionize and revitalize an operating system for the next 5 years. And it's easy to demonstrate. Here's a new version of here's a new feature in our Photos app. You see how this your daughter was at bat and playing baseball behind this chain link fence. Well, now the chain link fence is no longer in the way. That's an easy demo, but explaining here's how we are going to make iOS work better with keyboards and other pointing devices in case you wanted to use your $500 iPad as a laptop replacement, as something that maybe you don't want to buy one of these new $300 cheap Windows machines or a Chromebook. Here's a way to do that. That's where you figure out that, oh, Apple is really, really serious about moving iOS forward as not just as a, hey, is a really great thing for comics and games. Here's a really great thing for just using it as a business device. So we shouldn't, even if Apple doesn't show off such a device, and I wouldn't be shocked if they didn't, I think that we're going to see some stuff that points to AR, that points to new applications of Shlomo, and maybe even some stuff that
Shlomo plus AR. You're saying?
Yeah, Shlomar.
Shlomar. Okay, there is a little problem. Siri sucks.
I wouldn't say Shlomo sucks.
For me, a Siri device would just be one more thing to swear at. I don't.
Well, it'll have beamforming Mike Leo to be purpose-built to work in your living room.
Shlomo, she's fine. You're fine. You're fabulous.
Lisa and I have a little game we play. When I'm looking for something, I will ask Google Assistant, and she will ask Shlomo. And invariably, Shlomo either says, I don't know what the hell you're talking about, or I found some stuff on the web that has nothing to do with your request. Yeah. And I got, maybe, is it just me? I don't think I speak with an accent. I feel like one of the risks Apple faces by putting Shlomo up front is it really does lag behind Google's offering.
There would conceivably be a Shlomo 3.0 that would go along.
Maybe they're working on that.
Yeah. Now, whether that's actually good enough or not is going to be hard to tell.
The only thing worse than Shlomo is Bixby.
Yeah.
It doesn't do anything at all.
Well, Bixby is a toddler, and now Alejandro is a rebellious teen. They're different levels of maturity, but also realize that you can have a much better experience with Alyosha and with the assistant, because again, I've got this device in front of me that has all kinds of microphones around it, designed specifically to make sure that it can differentiate my voice from someplace else. Siri is almost always, there is one microphone, and it may not it's not a microphone that was ever designed to react to me at distance. It was designed to be like in the middle of my face with absolutely no other noise around it. And also remember that Apple has been doing some nice acquires. They acquired I can't remember the name of the company, but the company whose technology is in taking information that has been basically written for the web and summarizing it and sifting it and being able to extract context out of it. That's exactly the sort of thing Apple needs to make sure that Siri can say that, well, Abe Vigoda was in 3 different movies with Hal Linden before Fish and before Barney Miller. These are the 3 they were, instead of, I found these 4 articles on Wikipedia about Hal Linden and Abe Vigoda.